What I want to do now is I just want to share my screen. Let me share my other part of my screen here and bring up a couple things on here to share with you about, kind of what are the hottest markets? How do you find the hottest markets? Like, what is it all about? What is a hot market? What does that mean? And the way I want to do this is just to kind of share with everybody where we are on utilizing the rate comparison guide and using that information on a regular basis, because everybody should be up to speed on this, and utilizing it so that you can get maximum advantage in your business and be able to really attract the right people and bring in the customers that you're looking to, the right customers, all customers, but really the right customers. And so it's very important in our business, the people who are moving forward in this business the fastest are the ones who are getting information, because that's power in our business. Information is power. Communication and information to your advisors and to your potential customers is what makes this go. And so when you educate people on how to utilize all the things that are available to them, one of them is the rate comparison guide. So this is when you log into your back office. This is a demo account here. These are all the tools that you see over on the side of your screen here. If you're on your phone, you'll just hit the little hamburger button, the menu, and it'll drop down. And you'll see where you can see business, reporting, and then tools. We're going to key in on tools. And we're going to key in on documents and media. So you go to tools, then documents and media. Every first of the month, this rate comparison guide gets updated. Every advisor in Think Plus, you should then go and download this advisor guide. This rate comparison guide by going to documents and media, and then scroll down either over here on the left or through the actual on your phone. You'll probably have to scroll down through until you see rate comparison guide and then Think Energy rate comparison guide. You click on that, it pops up and it says view. Now, if you view it, it'll open up and you can download it, save it. It'll automatically on your phone open up in a saved fashion, but download it. So I'm going to download it right there. Great, I just downloaded it. Bam, I have it. I have it on my phone. I take screenshots of it. It's generally 3 pages long. And the first page, it's basically in alphabetical order, and then it ends with the state of Connecticut because there are different policies in the state of Connecticut for electricity, and they want to have all that, I guess, all on the same page for Connecticut. So when you go through this rate comparison guide, and I'll see if I can expand this a little bit so we can see this, you'll see that the rate comparison guide, it shows you, and if anybody's having trouble seeing that, let me make sure that I just hide the meeting controls there. So that should be better. But when you see the rate comparison guide, it pops up on the screen and you can see it's listed. You see Colorado, DC, Delaware, Illinois, Maine, all the way down through. So what we're going to do is just show you a little bit about how this works and how to see whether, what's the hot market from the perspective of the customer. Like, where do you have the ability to bring in customers very quickly to be able to then, let me see, do I have that set up right? Yeah, I do. To be able to bring in customers very quickly by you yourself being educated about which markets are the hottest markets, and then educating your team about the same thing so that you can recruit people in those markets, ask people if they know people in those markets. So right now with Colorado, when you see here, we don't have electricity, and it goes across the screen and it shows you the different rates that we have for residential rates for electricity. Then it gives you the types of plans that we offer. Think Clean 12, Think Clean 36, and then it goes across and says, okay, do we have Think Basic offerings in that state? Yes or no with a check mark. And then do we offer community solar in that state? Yes or no with a check mark. Now, pretty soon you're going to see some more items appear on this rate comparison guide, like the Think Community Solar. It won't just be a check mark. It's going to have things that say, the discount that's available, whether there's LMI or not available, how high of a discount it is, 10%, 20%, 25%, 5%, whether it's utility consolidated billing or dual billing, that information is going to start to populate in this rate comparison guide as the months go on here. So right now, if we just take a look at this, you can see what the current residential rate is for electricity. There's a whole column for that. You can see when it expires if we know that. You can see what the future residential rate is, which is very good, great information to have, and when that future rate would expire as well. So for instance, right here, if we take this area here, Massachusetts, Eversource Energy in Massachusetts, right now, they have a 15.7 rate. It expires on January 31st. That means on February 1st, there'll be a new rate. We already know what it is. It's 13.2, and it ends on 7/31 because every 6 months, they renew, they change their electricity rates. And so that's how it works. And then you can see what our rates are as well. So right now, 15.7. We have a 14.9 12-month rate. We have a 15.9 36-month rate. We know that this is going to come up in the next 10 or 12 days, 10 days or so. There will be a new rate that will be 13.2 in that market. And so what we also know by looking at this rate comparison guide is that there's a check mark under Think Basic. And so if we actually go and look up the rate, and I did this, I went in and typed in zip codes for different areas, and I'm working right now to just finish up a document as well that will just show you each utility that we have that's listed on the rate comparison guide. Like there's multiple utilities in the state of Massachusetts. There's Eversource Energy, NEMA, SEMA, WAMECO, there's Unitil, there's National Grid, 4 of them. So we're going to have zip codes for each of those markets that will allow you to quickly look up and see what the Think Basic rate is in those markets. Because again, the Think Basic rate can change at any time. The rates that we post for the current residential rates for 12 and 36 months, those generally stay that way for the entire month. The Think Basic rate can change at any time because it's a short-term rate where, we go after the lowest wholesale rate on the market and post that rate, but they're generally shorter term. So we're going to get a zip code listing for everybody so that you can have one resource to be able to go and look up what the Think Basic rate is in that market. So for the Massachusetts market, in Eversource NEMA territory, I went ahead and looked it up. So, well, first of all, let me go down the list. Let's start with Colorado. So in Colorado right now, we do not offer electricity, and right now we offer community solar. It's on a limited basis. We are open for community solar. We don't have any capacity there right now. So Colorado is not one of our hot markets right now, obviously. Now, DC. When you look at Washington, D.C., and this is just something that I do this once a month, and I did it, so I'm going to show you what I did so that you can be up to date on this as well. And we'll get regular on this so that you can understand how this works. But D.C. right now, it's basically there's a 12.01 Potomac Pepco rate. Our offer in that market is 11.99, so it's just a little bit less on the electricity side. It doesn't expire until May 31st, so that's great. You can sign up a customer for less right now in the state of DC, in the territory of DC, Washington, DC. You can save them a little bit of money on their electric bill. Why not? But you can also save them 10% community solar, and it's dual billing. So I put that in kind of, if we're looking at 1, 2, or 3, like green, 1 green dot or 1 green star, 1 green dot, 2 green dots, or 3, I would put that as a 1 green dot is what I would put it as, because it's a small amount of savings for the electricity customer. That's great. It's definitely green because we're saving them money, and we have the ability to do community solar with dual billing. And we know dual billing is not going to be as fast as an adoption rate as it is with utility consolidated billing. It's just the way it is with people. We understand that. So I would put DC as a 1 green dot. Delaware, I'd put it the same way. In Delaware, we don't have community solar, but we have a nice rate there when you think about it, 10.65. And our current offering rate for Delaware is the Think Basic rate, which is 9.90. So we have a Think Basic rate of 9.90 in Delaware versus 10.65. I'd give Delaware 1 green dot. Now, the next one we have on the list is Illinois, with the Commonwealth Edison, ComEd territory. Now, we also do Ameren territory for community solar. It's not listed on there, but we do it. So we have to get that updated for everybody. But if you look at the Illinois ComEd market, electricity, our current offer, compared to the utility, it's 6.47 is the utility. It's actually 6.471. And we have a Think Basic rate, I just looked it up, which is 6.47. So we're just about even, saving them a tiny bit of money. That's fine for on the electricity side. But we also, as you scroll over, you'll see that we offer in that market, we offer Think Community Solar. And in community solar in Illinois, Commonwealth Edison territory, as well as Ameren territory, it's 10% to 20% savings, and it's utility consolidated billing. So right there, electricity offer that's below the utility, consolidated billing, 10% or more, up to 20% if it's a lower moderate income customer. And it's utility consolidated billing. We do not have to have two bills. They don't have to put in any payment information. You guys, I would put that Illinois market as a 3 green dots. On a scale of 1 to 3, it's a 3 for the Ameren territory and for the ComEd territory. Then let's take a look at Central Maine Power territory in Maine. Central Maine Power, we have a 10.613 rate for electricity, and 10.6 is our Think Basic rate. But it's 15 to 25% savings in that market on community solar. It's dual billing, but it's $300 for each customer and 13 total points toward you getting promoted. You guys, I would put the Central Maine Power territory as three green dots out of 3. On a scale of 1 to 3 green dots, it would definitely be a 3. So mark that down. I would put the other market in Maine, Versant Power. We have a small savings there. It's basically, well, it's not even a savings. We're actually a little bit higher in that utility, 10.56, and our rate is 10.6. So not a lot of, no savings on the electricity side right now, but it's 10% savings and it's dual billing. So I'd give them a green dot because they have community solar, 10% savings. That's great. I don't have that in Connecticut in my market. I'd love to have guaranteed savings for 20 years. I can't even offer that to anybody in our market. So you have an advantage there in Maine. That's for the Versant territory. Now, if you look at Massachusetts, Massachusetts has a lot of utilities. I'm just going to use one as an example. We're going to use the first one, which is a big one, the Eversource Energy territory. This is like greater Boston area, northeast, a little bit south of Boston, highly populated area, and the NEMA territory. Okay. They have a 15.7 rate, basically, 15.772. That expires, okay, on January 31st. And we know that it's going to 13.2. And as we scroll across on this list, that rate is going to be 13.2. It's going to end on July 31st. That means you could sign up a customer right now if we have a rate that's lower than 13.2. Then it's a green light to sign up customers there because they'll sign up right now. And when the new rate kicks in for 13.2 with the utility, if we have something better than that, then sign them up on it and put them on it. If it's lower, even if it's shorter term, sign them up on that offering and then have them look at the end of that term. Where are they? Chances are rates will still be lower then because it'll be the summer. And you'll be able to move them into a new lower rate with us at that time. So in Massachusetts, 15.7 moving to 13.2, and we have a 12.9 offering on Think Basic. So I would sign them up on that all day long because you're going to be below the 13.2 even after the rate changes. That'll get you all the way through July 31st. And then you can look at that customer on July 31st and move them to a new plan with us if that's what they want to do, because that Think Basic rate is going to be a short-term plan. On top of that, 10% savings with dual billing. So I would put Massachusetts market as like a 2. Because we have savings, we have a great savings plan on the electricity side. We have a great rate offering, and we're going to be lower than them during the next rate offering that comes up, and we have community solar. I'd have to put Massachusetts as, 2 dots out of three on that platform as well. The only reason I didn't put it at 3 is because it's not utility consolidated billing there yet. Now, if we move to Minnesota, let's move to Minnesota. This is an easy one. I would put that at, we have a lot of capacity in that market. It is Xcel Energy territory, and it's community solar only, and it's 5% savings, and it's dual billing. So I would put that as a one green dot out of 3, 1 out of 3. So that's a nice market to work in as well. Then let's take a look at New Hampshire. In New Hampshire, 10.5 is the current rate. It's moving to 8.6. Okay, it's going to move to 8.6 in New Hampshire. And our current rate offering is 9.9. That's what we're offering for our customers at this point. So can you sign them up and save them a little bit of money? Yeah, you may. You may want to look at what happens on November 1st on February 1st, when new rates kick in. It'll be 8.9 at that point. And currently our rate offering that we have, let's see if we move across here, we have 11.9, 12.5 for longer term plans, and then we have a 9.9 rate offering. So what I would look at in this market currently myself, because we're right at the end of this rate cycle with a customer, I would wait until we see what our new rate is in the New Hampshire market, starting on February 1st, because we will put out new rate comparison guide, potentially with new rates at that point, which may then be below the utility. So that's what I would do there if I were in that market right now. I'd say, if I'm talking to a customer, I'd even call them up and say, hey, listen, I'm going to call you up. We have about 10 days before rate switches over and we'll get a new rate with our company. Let's see what we can do for you then. And if I have something for you, I'll call you back and get you set up. So that's where I would put that and what I would do in New Hampshire right now. New Jersey. In New Jersey, we have the ACE, Atlantic City Electric territory. Right now, we have, in that market, let's see, what are we looking at in New Jersey? We have a 15.0 rate with the utility, and we have an offer of 13.9. No community solar available there right now. So I would put that as a 1 green dot out of 3. The other market, and New Jersey, Orange, and Rockland, I would look at that and I'd say, okay, we have the current rate offering there is 13.96 to 15.77. Our rate is 13.9. We don't have any community solar, so I'd put that as a 1 green dot as well. The other two markets, New Jersey, Jersey Central Power and Light, and Public Service, PSE&G, so JCP&L and PSE&G, I would put those in the category of 3 green dots, high on the chart, because we have in the JCP&L territory, 11.7 is the current rate offer. We can offer them 10.5 on the Think Basic plan, plus 20% savings with utility consolidated billing in that market. Same goes for PSE&G. Right now, on the electricity side, not such a great offer. Okay, we're 15.9 and the utility is 15.1. That's a holdover rate though, which means that they're about to have that rate jump up significantly. So look for this in the New Jersey market in the coming months, maybe within the next month or two, somewhere between 1 and 3 months out, probably in 2-month range. We're going to start to see news about that market, the rates going way up. And then we'll have some significant electricity offerings. But in the meantime, 20% savings for all customers in those markets on community solar for 20 years. And it's utility consolidated billing, you guys. Because it's utility consolidated billing and it's an astronomical 20% savings, New Jersey should be at the top, almost like 4 green dots out of 3. 4 out of 3. Like, that's how good it is. So that's the New Jersey market. Then let's switch over and take a look at what the New York market looks like. This is pretty easy, pretty simple. We're not able to sign, while customers can sign up for electricity directly with the company for electricity, an electricity plan, we can't do that as an advisor. We can't get points from it. We can't make money from it. So what we're going to talk about in the state of New York is what we can do, and that is we can offer community solar in the state of New York. So where are we with community solar in the state of New York is this. Orange and Rockland, ORU, we don't have any capacity right now. In the central Hudson gas and electric territory, it's 10% savings and it's dual billing. 10% savings, dual billing. I would put that at maybe a 1 or 2 green dots out of 3. Because it's dual billing, it's 10%. But in the rest of the state, which is massive territory, NYSEG, National Grid, and RG&E. NYSEG, National Grid, and RG&E. You're talking about like millions upon millions upon millions of customers that are available in those markets. I would put this at 5%. It's 5% utility consolidated billing, which means the customer gets the discount right on their bill. They don't have to put in a credit card or anything like that. It is by far the easiest market to sign up for community solar. It literally takes about 45 seconds to sign up. You click on a link at the end via text or email, and you're done. It is the easiest market to sign up for community solar, period. It's only 5% savings, but look, 5% savings spans not just the supply portion of the bill, but the delivery portion of the bill in the state of New York. And so 5% guaranteed savings for 20 years is the highest form of guaranteed savings that's ever existed in that state without buying or installing something, without buying or installing solar panels. So you guys, I would put, because of the ease of access and because of how much actual territory and capacity is available in that market, it's like an evergreen market. We'll stop in the Orange and Rockland territory and maybe Central Hudson here and there, but the rest of the market, all of upstate New York, that is like wide open for millions upon millions of customers. And so I would put that as a 3 dots out of 5 for sure in the New York market. And then let's move on to Ohio. In Ohio, we have great rates in the state of Ohio. I mean, if you just glance, we'll just use Duke Energy and we'll use First Energy for Toledo as an example. Think about this. Here's the rates in the state of Ohio. Duke, 8.18. Think Plus, 6.7 versus 8.18. And we even have a 5.7 rate for high energy users. There's a $9.95 fee attached to it. But if somebody's using like more than, 800, 900 kilowatt hours a month, which many do, that's a great plan to get 5.7. It more than covers the $9.95 fee. So we have 2 options there in that market. If we look at First Toledo, and this is how it works in most of the markets in the state as well. First Toledo, 8.04 versus 5.7 is our rate in that state for Think Basic. And we even have a 4.7 Think Basic rate available for customers versus 8.04. That's why I put Ohio as 2, maybe 2.5 and pushing 3, definitely on the high end of activity that you want to go after in the Ohio market. That is a great market. We've had a lot of people promoting out of that market and getting on trips and things like that. So it's happening, right? And then we look at Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania is similar. I mean, in Pennsylvania, if you look at the PP&L territory in Pennsylvania right here, we're looking at the rate that they have for PP&L is, what is it? It is 10.77, and we have an 8.99 rate offer. And we even have a 7.99 rate offer for high users. So that market, again, Pennsylvania, 2 out of 3 on the 3 dots, 3 green dot scale. This is 2 dots out of 3. Rhode Island, I would put as the same way. And this is a great market as well. Think about this. This might even be a 3 dot market. 16.387 is the rate currently in the state in Rhode Island. It's almost the entire state except for like one little municipality. So everybody's Rhode Island Energy, formerly National Grid. 11.9 is our rate. That's our rate, 11.9 versus 16.387. Now they'll have a new rate that comes out, and you can lock these people in at 11.9. Think about that. The chances of the rate going down below that is very slim. On top of that, we have 10% savings with dual billing for community solar for 20 years, guaranteed. So very powerful there. I would put that as definitely a 2 out of 3 green dots. And then Virginia. Virginia is community solar only, and it's low and moderate income only. So for that reason, I wouldn't put it as 3 dots, even though it's utility consolidated billing, because it's just not available widely to everyone. It's one company and it's only LMI. So right now I would put that as like a 2 green dots out of 3 if I were just kind of categorizing it, because it's a little bit more limited. And it will open up as we go, but keep building in that market and keep finding people in that state, because look, there's a lot of ways people qualify. It's looking like about 40% of the Dominion Power customers in Virginia can sign up for community solar. So if you ask 10, 4 of them will qualify. So that's how it works. In the state of Texas, we have to put 3 dots, 3 green dots across the state of Texas for 2 reasons. We don't have to get into rates because they don't have rates in that state. We have our rates, and we have rates that you can put it that we show up on the board and things like that. But what I will say is that when you look at the Texas rates that are out there, we have some of the best rates in the state, plus we have Think Smart, plus we have the Free Energy Club. And those things are powering Texas. It's a juggernaut. Texas is the hugest market, the biggest market that's deregulated in America. Let me go over here and switch over to show you why this is so powerful in the state of Texas. So this is a website called Power to Choose. Powertochoose.org is the website where it's the state run. It's where everybody goes in the state to find out what the rates are in the state of Texas. This is done by the Public Utility Commission's website. So there are lots of other sites that individual companies put out, but this is the one the state runs, and it's always accurate. There's no nonsense in here. So when you type in your zip code, let's do a Dallas zip code, 75002. You can then narrow your search, and you should. Some people click view results and then they switch and say, show me only 12-month plans. But let's do it right out of the gate. Narrow your search. So select your usage. Well, let's say I use about 1,000 kilowatt hours a month. Okay, great. And then do I want a fixed rate or a variable rate? Nobody wants variable. No one ever does variable. Do not do variable in Texas. Do not do it. You hit next. Then how long do you want your contract to last? Look, 95% of the people in Texas, they are coming into their switching time season, or for when the switching season, it's generally like February, March, April, May, June. February through June, with March, April, and May being the big ones. So we're about to head into the high season in the state of Texas. So everybody looks for at least a 12-month plan. So let's do minimum of 12 months. Show us all the plans. This is going to take into account every company that's out there offering a 12-month plan or longer that's fixed for 1,000 kilowatt hours or more. This is 36 plans found. Now let's see how we rank. I don't know what the answer is here, but we're going to see. So now it's ranked in rate order, and look who is at the top of the pile right there. When you take all the gimmicks that all these other companies are doing, there's companies that are advertising 8-cent rates in this, but it doesn't include the TDU pass-through fees. And so when you add in the TDU pass-through fees in that state, we become, when you're comparing apples to apples, we have the best rate in the state of Texas. 12.9 is the best rate in the state of Texas. We have it. We're at the top of the pile, you guys. You have to put Texas at the top with 3 stars, 3 green dots out of 3, maybe even 4. All right, so very powerful. Last state I'll share with you on the rate comparison guide, if we go back to that, well, I'm not going to go back to the guide, is Connecticut. So let's take into account Connecticut. In Connecticut, and we have the comparison guide here in the state of Connecticut. It's called EnergizeCT.com. This is the state-run, utility commission-run rate board where everybody in the state of Connecticut goes. Connecticut has the most educated people in the country by far. About maybe Texas and Connecticut are tied. Everybody knows about switching rates in Connecticut and Texas. They all do. Connecticut has educated the customers extremely well. So if we look at Connecticut, in Eversource territory, it's 11.19. our Think Basic rate that we offer in Connecticut is 9.98. Now let's take a look at where that compares throughout the, through the utility. So if we look at Eversource right here, we're on the Eversource side, residential suppliers. Okay, great. Let's take a look. The standard rate offer is 11.19. Ranked underneath them by rate. It's how the state does it, by rate. It shows you the best rate first. And there we are. There we are. We're actually at 9.07 is the current offer, 9.07. It just went down from when I looked it up a little while ago. So today it went down to 9.07. The next best offer is 9.99. That's the current rate in the state of Connecticut. We have the best rate in the state of Connecticut. Well, what if we switch this over? Show us the other company. Show us, show us United Illuminating. So United Illuminating, their rate is 13.57 cents. That's the current offer in the state of Connecticut for that's what you're on if you haven't exercised your right to choose. And there's our rate offer with Think Energy, 10.28. That is the best rate in the state of Connecticut, beating out all the other rates just by a smidgen. 13.57 versus 10.28. You guys, I would put Connecticut at 2 out of 3 out of 3, maybe even 3 out of 3. And the only reason I say, when you have the best rate in the market, you can go to town in that market. And now that you know that, you should be letting people know and asking, who do you know in these states? You guys, that's what we have going on. I hope that helps everybody.